Hey guys, we got two new mobile suits to talk about. We're going to watch some gameplay, go over the abilities, and then get some analysis going. So let's go right into it. I'm so excited for Marasai. Such a cool mobile suit. We got the hook into the dodge, into the mobility from Exia. Got the nice little hook into the burst combo. Super high damage and stun ultimate. Like I said, here comes all the mobility. Got the dash, slash, vertical mobility too, and then even more the same when you ult. Crazy damage, crazy mobility. Starting off with Marasai, we have a character that has mid-range damage capabilities, 1200 HP, and a dash limit of 2. That's actually a lot of dashes to have, considering it has 1200 HP, which is tied for second most in the game with Dom Trooper. So it's pretty impressive that it has that, in addition to standard solid damage with its primary fire, and a lot of utility with its hook and with its stunning ultimate. So moving on to the abilities, like I said, its primary fire damage does a lot of damage. It's more or less very similar to the RX-78 Gundam. It does 220 damage per shot. There's 8 shots in the magazine, and it has about the same fire rate as RX-78 Gundam, in addition to a better spread, actually. Like I was saying, it's surprising that it gets this much damage considering how much utility and movement it has and HP it has. So looking like a very powerful mobile suit overall. I'm going to skip over here to the hook ability, the Sea Snake. It pulls them in after hitting the enemy and does 350 damage. It is a skill shot, so you guys will have to practice to make sure you're hitting your hitting your ability effectively to get good value out of it. And once you have hooked the enemy, then you hit them with Beam Blade here. It's a melee damage attack, but it looks like it has a little bit of range on it, and it knocks back the enemy and deals 350 damage. So the combo is going to be, you hook them, you hit them with the Beam Blade, and then you primary fire them. If you're feeling a little bit ambitious, you can also hit a primary fire in first. So you hit your primary fire, then hook, then Beam Blade, and then a shot into the head, and that should kill almost anything in the game. Probably like a Sazabi will survive still since it has 1400 HP, but that's not your primary target to be hooking anyway. Its ultimate, Sea Snake Shock, is very powerful and has a high voltage stun that hits into a wide area. It's an AoE attack. As you can see, the enemies are getting stunned for about 1.5 seconds, it feels like. It's a very solid amount of stun time, and it also deals 350 damage. So overall, in addition, even if it didn't have this ultimate, is very powerful, but his ultimate is one of the better ones in the game so far, stunning all the enemies and dealing a bunch of damage to them anyway. So that makes it a very powerful character. The nice thing about Marasai as a whole is it does fill this hook archetype, but it doesn't have some of the problems that other hook-based characters do, like something like Roadhog in Overwatch, where they don't have a lot of capability otherwise than just their hook. So they end up being not very beneficial to have on your team in team-based settings. In solo queue, of course, they can go and wreak havoc, but in team-based things, they end up faltering. Moving on to Gundam Exia, we have a character that is close range, has 800 HP, and a dash limit of 3. This is a little bit misleading with the dash limit of 3 because it actually has 2 additional dashes in its standard kit, which gives it a total of 5. But then if you add the 2 extra that it gets from its ultimate, we're looking at 7. With this much mobility, there's so much you can do on the character, and I'm super excited to see like what the top level players are going to be doing with this, with 7 dashes. It's just actually insane. And on top of having all these dashes, it does a very solid amount of damage, and it also has range poke capability because it throws 3 little beam daggers with his primary fire. So lots and lots of potential with this character. So starting off with GM Beam Dagger, not Beam Saber. You throw 3 of these and they deal 115 damage each for a total of 345. They look very quick, but I don't believe they're hit scan based on the gameplay here. They can headshot, and we're looking at a total of 690 damage with 1 full burst to the head, which means it'll kill 800 HP heroes with a burst to the head and then a burst to the body, and then 1000 hit point heroes, 2 bursts to the head will kill them. It'll kill anything in the game except for Sazabi so far. So lots of damage potential with this is basic stuff as with just basic abilities for standard, but there's lots more for this kit. Moving on to the sub weapon, GN Sword Russian Slash. You charge it up and then you hit an enemy with it, and it does 350 damage at maximum. It doesn't look like you can cleave through enemies with this, so you'll probably get stopped by another one. Have to confirm on that. Other abilities like this can cleave through, but this one doesn't really seem like it can so far, but we'll see about that. This ability does slow you down as you're using it, so you have to be careful with it. You don't want to do it in front of a sniper or something that's going to be able to just click on your head and kill you, so you do have to be careful with that. The extra ability is one of these extra dashes. It's quick step. It gives you a dash in any direction, so you can dash horizontally, but you can also dash vertically, as we saw in the very first video. Very, very useful ability overall. The third ability here, we have Spin and Slash. It's an ability that hits at an AoE, so we're not just hitting one target with it potentially, we're hitting multiple. And it has an extra little capability on top of the knockback, where if something's already stunned, it'll stun them extra. So that's a little bit of, a little insult to the injury when something's stunned already, or maybe injury to the injury. So when you ult with this character, it doesn't quite give you a regular ability, but instead it makes it so your other abilities, or some of them, are changed. The main weapon stays the same, just long distance 3-round burst, but your secondary weapon gets a faster charge time, a lower cooldown, and an increase in damage. So that's a lot of potential there. With quick step, it gives you 2 dashes, as we saw in the first clip, and also reduction in cooldown. And then Spin and Slash changes into this GN Beam Saber that gives you this nice long dash with a chop through it. Again, we'll have to see what exactly the whether this damage can cleave through enemies or not, but that's up to the future. As you can see in the video, there's only a 2-second cooldown on it, so that's very, very short. This character, when it ults, as I'll show you right here, it'll be doing lots and lots of dashing, lots of just mobility, just doing so much crazy stuff to the enemies. There's huge potential for this. And that damage right there with the dash looked to be about 500 with a fully charged Russian Slash. So that's crazy. So having gone through everything, this character is going to compete for a position with Zaku potentially, with the very quick low damage or low HP character that does high damage. Or you could double up on it and put in a character like Sazabi and run a dive composition, where you find targets and you jump onto them and blow them up super fast with your high mobility and your high damage. But just with how much mobility there is in the kit and how much damage there is in the kit, it's looking super, super powerful. And we'll have to see how it actually shows when we get a hold of it on the network test in April. Thanks for watching the video, guys. If you liked it, please like and subscribe. It means so much to me and also to the channel. I have 6 guides for characters in Gundam Evolution, so if you haven't seen those yet, you should check them out, and I will put them in this playlist right here. Thanks again, guys, and I will see you later. Peace.